This is the Strange and Mysterious World podcast, in conjunction with Elucis TV. These are your hosts, Lee Stridham and William Collinson.
Welcome to Strange and Mysterious World, Season 5, Episode 25. This is our last episode for the season, until our Season 6 in, not next week, the week after. So yeah, stick around for the new stuff. And tonight's discussion, we're going to be chatting about Fire in the Sky. It is the... back in 1975, you remember that movie that they made with that alien abduction by that guy, Travis Walton, the Travis Walton story?
Yeah, the famous UFO abduction case. He was actually on Joe Rogan, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, they've actually...
Fascinating story.
Yeah, there's a couple of... anyway, we'll get into that. Let's start at the beginning. So, look, obviously...
But anyhow, I just wanted to... just mention this. Look, this is what I'm taking at the moment. Have you heard of this?
No.
I'm not fucking... Can you see it? Look, that doesn't...
Okay, it's heart... What?
Haritaki. Haritaki.
Okay.
Apparently, this stuff opens your pineal gland if you eat enough of this.
Haritaki, really?
Yeah. I mean,
so it decalcifies it.
Yeah, well, it's marketed as a digestive thing to help you. But geez, I just had a teaspoon of this in warm water. That's how you're supposed to have it, and I almost threw up all over myself because I didn't know what it was taste like. It smelled okay, but geez, when I just drank, because I took a huge slug of it, and it was so gross. But anyway, it's like they use it in Ayurvedic. How do you say that? Ayurvedic medicine to for one of your pittas or whatever, to one of your... So yeah, apparently it opens your pineal gland. I'm giving that a shot. See what happens. Report back in 10 days.
Well, according to some ideas, that if you remember your dreams, then your pineal gland is working fine.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my dreams every night. I actually ask ChatGPT every morning ask them what my dreams mean.
Dr. ChatGPT.
Well, I've been trying to have lucid dreaming now, so I've got this app. Have you heard of this app? Apparently, it's one of the best ones to do lucid dreaming. It's called. Why do they always have to make the app in such a I wish it was that name, because then I'd remember it. They've called it Oniri. Let's actually check it out. Maybe it's like some...
But isn't that like
name that everybody knows in Japanese, which means... Yeah, you know what the problem was, Lee? I was like, I wanted to try it out. It says if you try it out for 9 days, and then it's this how much it is for the year. It was like 500 Rand or something. So I thought, let me give it a shot for 9 days, and then I was doing it sort of, and then after 9 days, I forgot to cancel it. And then I looked back at my bank receipts. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, they paid it. But it's fine because it's actually, it prompts me, which is great, because I was trying to do the lucid dreaming stuff. And the protocol.
During the day.
Yeah?
Prompts you during the day.
Yeah. Yeah, so the protocol to learn how to lucid dream is you've got to set a thing that's... Yeah, alarms, or every time you walk through a doorway, you say to yourself, you look around and you're like, am I dreaming? Is this a dream? And then you push your finger into your hand, and then you see, oh, it's solid. Okay, cool, I'm not dreaming. But you do that just to train yourself or get in the habit. So when you're sleeping, you will do the same thing. Like in your dream, you walk through a door, and you're like, oh, am I dreaming? And then you realize you're dreaming, and you're like, oh my God, this is the lucid dream. And then you're you're in it. Then you know you are dreaming, and then you can just go wild and have so much fun apparently in your dreams. So anyway, so I've been trying to do that. But the thing is, with your example, with having a alarm going off every hour, or every 4 times a day or whatever, I'm on film set all the time, so I can't have an alarm going off all the time. And also then when I did put the alarm on, because there was these apps that you can put on for it'll ping every hour or make a noise every hour, because apparently you're supposed to sleep, and then you're also supposed to put that alarm on so you could hear the ping, and then it kind of reminds you of in the day when you hear the ping and you say, oh, am I dreaming? Then at night time you lie and then you hear the ping, and then your subconscious is like, It's supposed to spark your subconscious off, and you like in your dream go, oh, am I dreaming? And then you realize you're dreaming. So, but I couldn't do that on set because, like, obviously, then you can't have your phone on set, so that wasn't working. And also, but then when I did have the one where it was pinging when I'm not on set, then I'd never ever heard it. I could never hear it. I think I'm probably just around noisy things or people all the time, but I can never hear the pinging or the alarm. So this one, at least a little thing comes up, a banner. It says it reminds you, and then every morning you put your dream in, like what you dreamt about, and it tries to analyze it for you. I don't know. I find ChatGPT more gives me a better result than this thing gives me of analyzing my dreams. So yeah, it's fun. And there's a whole bunch of techniques on there. And
the problem with me, though, is with lucid dreaming is I can get to a point where I know that I'm dreaming. The problem is to hold on to that. That's where my problem is. I can hold it for maybe what feels like a few minutes, but then it fucking just goes.
Yeah, well, in the app, it shows you like ways to like hold on to it, so the experience lasts longer. It's like these techniques and that. And it's got techniques of like, it's got the wake back to bed. It's a lot of the techniques are kind of similar to like astral traveling techniques.
Yeah.
But what's cool, because with Michael Monk, remember when we had him on the show, he was like, he tried astral traveling for like, and like more spiritually awake. And then, he's had all those amazing experiences. He said, no, you just got to try to do the astral traveling. Just go through the lucid dream. That's how he got it. So, I'm checking it out. We'll report back in 20 days.
Okay.
So what do you think of that?
Cool.
You're bored as fuck.
No,
sorry,
that's cool.
So interrupted your fire in the sky. Okay, let's go back. Fire in the sky.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the story. All right. So there's two kind of sections to the story. The first section is where the abduction happens, and then it's what happens after that. So in 1975, now you must remember this is a couple of years after the Betty and Barney Hill story. I think Whitley Strieber's stuff was already out. So there's things in the consciousness out there.
The zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's in the zeitgeist. Okay, so in 1975, in November, 5th of November, there was a group of 6 loggers. Okay, these guys that work out in the forest, they go and like kind of deforest. They were working out in Arizona, just outside of a town called Snowflake. Now, Snowflake is actually named after the 2 founders. The one guy's surname was Snow, the other guy's surname was Flake, so they called it Snowflake. So it's actually
that's pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah. So now,
and if they were a gay couple, it would be even cooler.
So obviously the main oak there is Travis Walton. He's the one the whole story is about. The guy that was actually the head of the loggers, the guy that was running the crew at the time, his name was Mike Rogers. Okay, and they were actually quite good friends. They've been friends for quite a long time. There's another guy by the name of Robert Cogdill, Greg Hayes, David Whitlock, and Alan Dallas. Now, Alan Dallas, he was quite new to the crew, all right? And he actually had a criminal record, and him and Travis didn't get along. They were like, this Oak Alan, he kept threatening him with bloody, he'd cut trees down near him, and the trees would fall like almost on top of him. He would threaten him with a chainsaw and all sorts of shit. So it seems like there was a bit of hostility going on at this time. But anyway, so they were out there's an Apache reservation where these guys were busy cutting down the trees. And what do we know about the American Indians and aliens? It's like frequent.
Yeah, well, that's what old Stephen Greer says, that it's like you have to be. No, even there was also something with the CIA or whatever. It's like all of the alien abductions. When you go back to it, it's always some Native American genome inside like if they check the person's genome. Did you hear about that? I think it was Stephen Greer that said that.
Okay.
Or maybe it was that. You must go check that. Like, there's a whole thing about it that mostly like all of the abductions that have been taking place. If you get their DNA, there's always Native American blood in there.
No, but
DNA.
Look, it kind of the whole thing makes sense to me because the American Indians, the alien thing for them, they call them star brothers. So for them, it's a natural part of life. There's no such thing where we see it as, oh, it's a, it's the supernatural thing. For these guys, it's part of their culture. I mean, they've been dealing with the star beings or the star brothers, whatever you want to call it, for freaking since time immemorial, since they can remember.
Yeah, but remember when we had our Samantha on, what was her surname? She like wrote that book about out of body experiences. Then she went to Mongolia to it's she's an anthropologist or whatever. Then she went and studied the shamans there in Mongolia, and the shamans there consider when you start seeing greys or like whatever alien things, they say it's a shamanic like opening. Like it's like in South Africa here when the shamans here they're called sangomas. If you start becoming a sangoma, you start having visions or whatever, and like seeing things and predicting things or whatever, then they say you've got a calling sickness. It's like you becoming but in Mongolia, they said that to her that if you start seeing aliens and that it's like it's a calling to become a shaman. It's like it's deeply in their shamanic like beliefs, whatever or experiences or whatever.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense, dude. I mean, like for them, it's a natural part of things. So it's not an unnatural thing for them. But anyway, so these guys they were logging, they were clearing some space out, and they started off in the morning, and at dusk they'd now finished off their work for the day, and they were heading off home. So there was a very bright light that these guys saw, and they originally thought it was a forest fire. It was so bright, they actually thought, hey, shit, there's a forest fire going on. And it was actually on their way out back to the road. And when they were coming up through to the light, one of the guys at the back saw the light moving. And they said, no. And the other guys were like, no, man, it's a forest fire. The guy said, no, this thing moved. And then they all noticed that as they got closer and they got like within probably about 100 meters of the light, they realized, okay, this is not a forest fire. There's actually a UFO. They saw this like silver disc sitting just outside. And Travis now gets out of the truck to go and investigate this thing. They're all yelling at him and tell him to get back in because this is, they're all shitting themselves and they're yelling, Canada, get in, we're getting out. Now he's not a fuck. I want to go and see what's going on. Now I would have done the same.
Yeah.
I would have put out the cars. I would have, without a doubt. I was thinking about it the other day. I would have also definitely gone out to have a look.
Yeah, I would have also been so curious.
So he was standing underneath the craft, okay, and this thing started moving, and then I think his guys are busy yelling at him, tell him, come on, we've got to get out of here. And he thought, okay, maybe he should, and he started running. But as he started running, this light came from the craft and hit him. But it lifted him up into the air. They reckon probably like 10 feet, okay, which is like 3.5, almost 4 meters up in the air. And it threw him. And then when he landed, they thought he had died because they were waiting for him to get up and he was just like dead still. So now they all think, okay, this guy's dead. So they race out of there. They move. They like motor it out of that area. But as they kind of coming towards the road, Mike, the leader, says, hold on, no, this is wrong. We need to go back. We need to go back and see, try and help him if there's something. So they go back to try and help him. But when they get there, he's gone. All right. And they search the forest, they can't find him. So now they're thinking, shit, now what? So they go back to Snowflake and they chat to the sheriff there. And the sheriff says to them, look, the guy's name was Blake Davies, the sheriff, I think it was. And they tell him the story and he's like, it's above him. There's something, you know what I mean? So he gets somebody else in. He gets somebody from the CBI. I don't know if it's the Central Bureau of Investigations or something, but anyway, he gets a guy by the name of Frank Water in to come in. Now, Frank, he has done...
So you got Snowflake,
Blake.
Snow and Flake.
Snowflake, Flake, and Blake. So anyway, so Frank comes in and he's apparently quite a good... He's solved murders and stuff, so he's pretty sharp. And he starts to interview the guys that were left, the 5 of them. And their story he reckons there's no ways. These guys have killed him. He reckons these guys have killed Travis, probably by accident. But he reckons no way.
They're blaming it on the aliens.
Yeah, he says no. They're trying to make up a story here. But anyway, so they then so that was like on the 5th. On the 6th and the 7th, they gather a whole lot of police force and even civilians, and they go out into the forest and they're searching for this guy. But they couldn't find nothing. No blood, no indentations. Nothing was there to say that the guy was there. Okay. Also, nothing to say that he was killed. So there's no evidence to say that the oak was killed there. And they got helicopters in, and so it was quite a big search party for what was going on there. But in the meantime, what's happened is this has been leaked out to the news. So the news anchors and everybody is coming over to Snowflake, okay, in Arizona. And now they're trying to interview, and there's people coming across from overseas. They're coming in now because this is like quite a big story. And in the meantime, this cop, he's reckoning, no, these guys have killed this dude. And he says, all right, I want you guys to take polygraph tests. Okay. And at first they're like a bit reluctant to do the polygraph because, I mean, I've done polygraphs. I've done quite a few polygraphs myself. It's very
nervous. Well, why?
No, but some jobs, no. Some of our jobs, they require like once a year, you've got to go do a polygraph.
And what, and ask if you've stolen any stock from the store?
Yeah,
what do they do?
They ask that stuff. But look, for me, I know I never have, but it's
that's quite
nerve-wracking. Yeah, it's like nerve-wracking. So you got to go and sit there.
What in America? Do you reckon in America, if you did that, it would be like a violation of your rights or your, I don't know, like your...
We live in South Africa, so the oaks they're prone to stealing. So it's quite...
Yeah. But I mean, that is like so drastic. It's like, next they're going to be like hypnotizing, giving you that like truth serum. Like every 6 months, you got to take truth serum.
Yeah. So I know how it is I know how nerve-wracking it is. Although, I mean, I've always passed and I've never had problems, but it's nerve-wracking when you're sitting there, the oaks are asking you questions and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder how it works if it's like you get so nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so this guy by the name of Cyrus Gilson, I think his name was, he now does the polygraph testing for these guys. Okay. And now remember, there's 5 of them. 4 of them pass. The one oak is inconclusive. I'm going to ask you, who do you think was the inconclusive?
The guy that wanted to kill him with a chainsaw and the trees.
Exactly. So now,
well, maybe because that guy, he sounds like such a criminal fucking narcissist. What do you call it? Like he probably didn't have a heartbeat. He's probably, I don't know, fucked. Anyway.
Yeah. So he originally didn't want to do the polygraphs at all because he thought that there's like a put on there trying to catch them out and that. But he didn't fail it, but he didn't pass it. So it was inconclusive. The polygraph.
Interesting.
Okay. So the sheriff, the main town sheriff said, look, he believes them. He believes because they've passed this. They believe what has happened. And, that's how it is. But the guy that they've brought in is reckoning, no, something else there's something going on here.
The guy that thinks they killed him.
Yeah. Frank Walton.
Walton.
He's like, there's something else going on here. Okay. But in the meantime, so now, yes, they were about to get crucified, dude. The townsfolk had turned against them. There was a whole big town meeting. These guys almost seemed like they were going to be accused of murder, even though there was no body found. There's no evidence, but it was like very suspicious how this guy went missing.
Yeah.
So now, 5 days later, now you must remember it's in winter. This guy had a pair of jeans on and a jacket. That was it. Right? So had he still been out in the forest at that time, he would have died of hypothermia easily. He would never have survived that. So 5 days now he's gone missing. All right. The Travis's brother gets a phone call on the 5th evening. He gets a phone call, a collect call. And he takes it, and he can hear the voice on the other end, and he recognizes his brother. And his brother says, "I need help. Please come and fetch me." And he's like, "Well, where the fuck are you?" And he gives him directions, and he goes. The family go out and fetch him, and they find the guy. Now, obviously, this is like what the fuck's going on here now? Because this oak, he's found, he hasn't eaten food for 5 days. He's fucking ice cold. He's almost like in a dream, in a dazed state. You know what I mean? He's got scratches and all sorts of shit on him, and they think, well, fuck, something's definitely happened with this dude. So anyway, he lands up in hospital for a while, and then he comes out, but he's still, something's like off. Now, his side of events, which we will get to now after this thing, but anyway, so obviously those guys they were seen, okay, they didn't kill the guy, but now Frank says, okay, now hold on. Something else is going on here, and it's these guys created a hoax. He says, no, this was a whole fucking hoax. They knew he had gone missing. That the Betty and Barney Hill story was quite fresh in everybody's minds. You've had Whitley Strieber's stuff, so there's. It seems like these guys were in it for the money and some fame, because they did. They did get very famous, and it's one of the most famous abductions in the world. I mean, everybody knows about it. So they did get, but saying that, I mean, how much money did they really get? I'll tell you now how much they got. But look, there were movies made about it and all sorts of stuff. So that was the crux of the story. That ended there. Okay, so nothing was ever proven. There was no physical evidence to show either way of what had happened. Okay. Now, what was the story when he was abducted? What happened? So according to him, now we're going to do two versions here. The first version is the movie version. Okay. So he gets abducted in the movie. He wakes up in this like egg sack. It's like this.
Yes, I remember the movie.
Everything's like slimy.
It's like almost like in the Matrix when you wake up, like the Matrix kind of like when you wake up and it's like in a slime like battery like pod.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. It was before the Matrix.
The Matrix got the idea from. But anyway, so he manages to break out of this this like silky covering.
And he's got like a placenta on him, like, and he's got to like break through the placenta. He makes a hole and he like goes through the placenta, like
100%.
That's quite disturbing actually when I saw that.
When he comes out of there, he sees that he's in this kind of almost like a hallway, but it's circular. And it goes all the way up, and there's all these placenta things. There's like layers and layers and layers of these placenta things with people in it. But the way that they've done it is so bad. The graphics, they made it look like it was in an old shit building that's rusting. Half the windows have fallen out. When he climbs out of the pod, he's actually floating. So there's obviously anti-gravity there, and he lands up in one of the pods where the human being there is like half decayed. You know what I mean? And then when he tries to get out, these beings capture him and they're dragging him on the floor, but there's like broken bottles and paper and all sorts of shit, like plastic bags on the floor. And I'm thinking, fuck, look, okay, I'm watching this now, but I've seen it before, but watching this now, I think, fuck, these guys, they didn't listen at all to what he said in the real story.
Yeah, it's nothing like it at all, yeah. It's like
nothing at all of what he said. So the real story is, eventually, okay, in this story, he manages to get out and he finds himself. You don't actually see how he gets out, but he's in the town and he's phoning for help. In the real story, what had happened was he woke up on a table. The table apparently was a lot shorter or closer to the floor than our normal tables. Then, like if we were walking around, this thing was like a medical table, but a lot closer to the floor. And he saw these beings. Grays. Yeah, he saw these grays. He said in his thing, he said they were about 5 foot, and they had this big like round eyes. So that's a little bit bigger than your standard gray. The standard gray is about 3 foot. But these beings were around him, and when he woke up, he was in pain. There was like headache. He had fucking backache. It was like he doesn't know what these guys were doing, but he associated the pain with these guys. So he immediately became defensive. And he pushed them away because they were all huddled around him, and he pushed them out, and he saw something. There was like this.
Well, yeah, geez, if you see like a bunch of creepy guys with big eyes freaking around you, of course you're going to like start panicking, punching and thinking.
Yeah. So he grabbed something off the side table, which was like this glass tube, and he was threatening with it. And now these beings are like, they don't know what to do because they're not violent. So they leave the room. Okay. In the meantime, he tries to make a duck for it. So he gets out of that room and he finds himself in another room. But in this room that he's in, he says looked like a control center where there was like buttons all over the place. He saw this window to the outside where they were actually in space. He saw the galaxy. He could see the stars. He said there was a hangar just a little bit down where he could see all these discs, this craft.
Jeez, man, imagine seeing that. It must be like so insane. Imagine you actually see that.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you think? Like it would be too much for your brain to like.
For him at this time, he was actually mesmerized at this stage. Now he looked at this, oh fuck. And then in the meantime, this other being comes through the door where he is now. And this being looks humanoid, looks human, is dressed up in a blue suit or like a blue onesie. Like an overall,
like
but tight fitting, like a tight overall type thing, like a wetsuit,
like a Pleiadian kind of thing.
Yeah,
Prob.
And but this being had a helmet on, a male that had a helmet on, and he was trying to talk because he felt a little bit more calmer now because he saw this human, and he was trying to talk to the human, but this thing, he just smiled at him and kind of led him to the next room where there was a whole lot more of these humanoids without masks.
Why do you say humanoids? Like, why do they not look
they looked human? They looked human.
Okay.
So, and they all also had like the long blonde hair, like the Nordics. You get the whole
like a tip, and like would it had like a 6-pack, and you could see that like through his tie.
I don't think they had shirts off. I think they had uniforms on.
No, but I mean, they got like tight fitting, like they got tight fitting blue things, like
yeah. Like so. Anyway, he's trying to ask them questions and stuff, but one of them grabs him by the arm, but there was no like maliciousness to it. They grabbed him by the arm, smiled at him, and they walked him out into the forest. He was now back in the forest, but somewhere else, and then they left. That was it. That's kind of where it ended.
No, but I remember on the Joe Rogan podcast, he said that they actually put a thing on they lay him down and they put a thing on his face.
Yeah, that was right in the beginning. That was right in the beginning.
Like they gave him like something that like put him out.
Yeah,
they like helped him. They were actually. He said that they were actually concerned about like what had happened to him.
Yes.
I don't know, but
it's afterwards. I think he kind of realized that. I think maybe that light, when it hit him and it knocked him, the injury. I think they tried to help him from the injuries that he sustained from that light that hit him.
Yeah.
So I think they were trying to help him. His thought is that they were trying to help him, and I think that stuff that they put on him was just to try and help healing. But obviously, with the healing, you've got to be put into almost like a cataleptic state where you can rest, so your body can start doing its healing. So, and he's running around and he's trying to fucking fight these guys off. So, and he said he felt so weak at the time, but he was a boxer. He quite a big guy, but anyway, so that was kind of about the story. That was kind of what happened there. And then obviously from there, things escalated. People came in. The news people came. They were trying to interview him, and he gave the stories. And then obviously everybody from there knows the whole big the whole big story. But that was generally it. So there wasn't really anything more to the story than what we've actually heard from there. So it wasn't like the most interesting story you've ever seen or you've ever heard. But
that's pretty interesting.
In saying that, there's two things that kind of got me weighed up. The first thing is some of the guys were in a bit of financial issues. Okay. And they were offered at the time, going back in 1975, they were given $5,000 for the story, which is equivalent to $31,000 now. So it's 610,000 rand. So divide that between the five. It's not that much money.
No, that's like
They were offered the bucks, but I mean, 100,000 rand. What's that going to get you today?
So they offered it for what? For the
story. So
what, from like
to tell the story. Yeah, the most interesting abduction story got awarded 5,000 rand. So whoever could give them, $5,000, whoever could give the most interesting story.
But don't you think there was a way to discredit it? Don't you think that was like a sneaky way
So
to
that's,
like,
I think
like
that's,
let's discredit, let's give this
yes.
guy some money so that then
Yeah.
we can say later on, like, yeah,
They did it for the money.
these guys got paid. They did it for money.
Yeah.
They could discredit it immediately.
Yeah, 100%. So I think that's actually one of the things that people have come up and said it's a hoax because of that. Because
What, that
of
they
the
got
money that
paid?
they were offered. Yeah, because they were paid.
Okay.
If you go back now, and this is going back 1975, it's over 50 years, dude. These guys are stuck to their story to this day. In 1993, there was another polygraph done for all of them, and they all passed in 1993. Okay, so for me, that's more of a conclusion that it really happened as opposed to it being a hoax. Because even if just one of them fails, like outright, something would then, you could then think, okay, this guy somehow was involved with organizing something. Maybe the other guys didn't know, but they all passed, all of them. So I think this actually did happen. I think this story.
No,
really,
I think
really
it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, just even seeing that interview on Joe Rogan, it seems very, like, just listening to him and how he talks and I mean, it was pretty legit to me.
Yeah, look, he had there was an interview he did about 5 years ago on a podcast as well. I think it was called A52, Area 52 podcast. And they were speaking to him about it, and same story, dude. He's never changed his story. He said, I'll tell you what I've seen, and if I don't understand it, I'm not going to try and explain it. I'm not going to try and make up stories now to tell you, oh, okay, yes, I saw this sigil or this symbol. I didn't see that stuff. I can only tell you what I saw, and if I didn't see it, I didn't see it. That's it. And his story has been constant.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. The Betty and Barney Hill one, I wasn't sure. I'm on the fence with that one, but this one, yeah, I think really, really did happen. 100%.
Nice one, dude.
He's even in the conclusion. He even says years later, because yes, he was scared at the time, but years later he says, even now, he in his heart he knows what happened, and this whole disclosure thing that's happening currently, he says he's all for it. The people need to know what is going on and what is happening around them. Everybody's got blinkers on, they don't see it. There's so much shit going on in the world that people are being distracted by, that we are missing the bigger picture. So it's actually very, very interesting. It was a good movie, that, as well.
Wow, Lee,
they should have showed it.
That's so cool. I mean, I wish I watched the movie before we did this and went back and listened to that interview with Joe Rogan. But it's cool. You're taking us all the way back in time. You're going to go through the whole timeline of all the UFO incidents.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I know quite a bit about them. I mean, like I said, MUFON investigator and MUFON director for South Africa for so long. I had to get involved with this stuff, and my mom was part of the whole
experiencer,
the whole abductee phenomenon. So I've known about this stuff since I can remember. So I've always been attracted to it and interested in it. So, yeah, been very cool.
Yeah, I still want to put that cut that when we got your mom hypnotized and she went into the whole thing about the getting taken into the craft. I still want to edit that together and put it on the show.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean that story that I'll never forget this. I was in standard 1. Grade 3 now, I think it is. What is it? Yeah, grade 3. Now, today's times. It was standard.
Yeah, grade 3. Standard 1's grade 3, yeah.
My mom, when she woke up the one morning, she showed me this burn mark on her neck. And she told me the story of what happened. Dude, it's like fucking Whitley Strieber and all these oaks are like nothing compared to the story of what she told me.
I remember her telling us this. I remember she told me that story as well. Yeah.
Fuck, it was like So interesting. But for me, it was like normal. I mean, she would tell me, "Oh, this happened," and like a month later, "Oh, this and this and this has happened." I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's happened again." So for me, it was like a normal thing. It was never.
Maybe we should just get your mom on here to tell us again.
No, I don't think she would.
No,
she wouldn't. She wouldn't.
Leave a comment in the bottom here if you want Lee's mom to come on and talk about it.
It was difficult to get her onto your movie to do. It was very difficult.
Tricky. We would just go hide a camera somewhere and then we like candid camera her.
Yeah, fair. But anyway, awesome. Yeah, that's it, guys and girls. That's it for the week, and that's it for the season. Hope you enjoyed that one. Week's break, and then we're back with our season 6, episode 1. That will be our next UFO dump. The whole next, the whole new videos and stuff that have come through. We'll be doing that with our smoker galore, Emil.
Yeah, what is that guy from the X-Files?
He so reminds me of the guy from the X-Files, dude. That fucking smokes one way.
What is that guy from the X-Files called? Deep Throat.
Deep Throat, yeah.
Was his name Deep Throat? Really? Like, it was obviously before the movie, hey? Before the Deep Throat movie.
I've never saw that movie. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up, he's fucking lying to me. Just want the listeners to know that you watched it. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, cool, dude. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Enjoyed the season.
Cheers, guys.
See you again.
Bye.
Cheers.